Hey guys, it's Mel, and today I want to talk to you guys about buying larger size clothing in Japan. This is actually a question asked by one of my subscribers, and I really wanted to make a video on it pretty much because this was something that I was so worried about and so stressed out about before I came to Japan. When you're packing and you're kind of making those decisions on what to bring, you don't really know what you'll actually need. And yeah, I was a bit worried about clothing because you obviously hear that Japanese clothing sizes are quite smaller and it's hard to buy larger clothing. And I was kind of stressing to the point where I was like, do I need to bring clothes for an entire year? Because I was kind of planning on coming home at Christmas. So, what should I bring? Is it going to be, possible for me to do this? Do I have to order everything offline? And then, I was majorly stressing out about it. So I pretty much packed intending for a year very lightly clothed, like lightly. So I didn't bring too many clothes, but enough that would probably suffice me for the year, thinking that I wouldn't be able to buy anything over here. And to be honest, this is just not the case. So yeah, I wanted to kind of, share with you guys a few of my little tips and places that I go to buy clothing. Just to kind of give you guys that information, and also just to kind of, allay any fears of people who might be looking at moving to Japan about this kind of topic, because I really couldn't find anything. Well, there's like general information, especially about traveling in Japan. There's nothing really here about living and getting larger size clothing. The information's just not there, and it wasn't really what I wanted. So I know I'm kind of making this video hoping that it'll give you guys a little bit more information. So yeah, okay, let's go. So yeah, I guess my first tip, my first place, try clothing stores like H&M and also things like Uniqlo, because a lot of these will have very much Western sizing. There is, especially if you're closer to large cities, you will definitely be able to find a lot of the international clothing brands, and a lot of these will have Western sizes. They may not have any of your plus size sections or things like that within them. They just don't seem to bring those over. But you'll still be able to find things that should be able to fit you. And a lot of the more sizes that you're comfortable and more used to seeing, so you kind of have a bit more of an idea of what to expect. So yeah, I don't know, that's kind of my suggestion. H&M's are in a lot of big cities. Uniqlo's are kind of almost everywhere. It's a Japanese brand. It has started going international now. And yeah, they're quite common around the place, so you should be able to find one. And the size of the clothing is usually pretty good. So it's a little bit more expensive, but it's quite comparable, and yeah, it's easy to find something. So I guess my other tip would be to try your department stores. So these are a little bit intimidating to go into when you first kind of come over, but a lot of them will have kind of your larger size clothing sections. My favorite is Aeon. So in your Aeon malls, they'll usually be their department store, and they've got a really great kind of larger size clothing section for women. You can buy pants and skirts and shorts and just dresses and everything that your hearts could desire. So yeah, I know that's a really handy place just to know to have kind of as a backup. So yeah, definitely try your department stores. Obviously prices are going to vary depending on how high class your department store is. So try a couple of different ones and have a look. I guess that's one of the big things that, well, it's easy back home just if you, if you've got a shirt that's starting to kind of wear and it's getting a bit older, you kind of have to go out and you can just go out last minute and buy a new one, or if you're going to an event, you can just go out last minute and pick something up and know you can find something. Whereas I guess buying clothing here just requires a little bit more planning. You have to kind of expect that you won't be able to find what you want for the first maybe trip or so, until you kind of find those go-to places that will have something. So yeah, don't leave things last minute is probably my biggest tip. Where else has good things? I've actually had a lot of luck kind of shopping in doing secondhand clothes shopping. I really enjoy it. It's always something I've loved even when I was back home. Yeah, you can find stuff that's really well priced, really cheap, and it's really cute and different. And yeah, a lot of the times these sizes, there'll be a huge range of sizes. And I don't know, I feel like Japan clothing, especially for women, is very much the fashion and the kind of thing is to have it a little bit more oversized. So a lot of your you know, t-shirts or tops or, you know, jumpers or sweaters and things like that are all kind of generally made to be oversized. So yeah, you can usually, like, I've, you know, found a heap of different stuff in like normal clothing stores, no problems at all, which have fit me. I found a lot in, as I was saying, secondhand clothing, because, you know, you've got a huge range of all different brands and that, and you can literally just kind of more look at, you know, the make and the size and the fabric of the clothing and to see whether it will fit you better. So it just makes it a little bit easier that way. That's how I find it anyway. So yeah, I guess they're my kind of like main points, and I guess at the end of the day you can always buy online. It's a little bit more difficult because I think, you know, getting a debit card's a little bit more difficult in Japan. You can definitely do it, and I was lucky enough that my company actually asked me whether I wanted them to kind of organize one with my bank when I first started at my job, so that was fantastic. But, you know, some companies don't do that, or some banks don't do that. It really depends, but if you can get a debit card, it makes life so much easier. You can also go into like your, you know, convenies and pick up like the prepaid debit cards, which can be used as well. So, you know, there's a few different options, and yeah, as I said, like at the end of the day, you can always buy online. So yeah, I don't know, the only things I find really hard to buy here are like women's shoes, like nice shoes, like flats or things like that. But you know what, I guess most of the time I tend to wear sneakers anyway. Yeah, love my Connies, and that's what I generally tend to wear, and thank God they are really cheap over here, at least compared to Australia. So yeah, I know it doesn't really stress me out too much. I've got a couple of pairs kept for good, but other than that, yeah, I know you can just kind of make do and find different things. I guess moving to another country, not just in clothing, but in like food and, you know, cosmetics and all those kind of things that you get used to. It's about, I guess, adapting to the new country a little bit. Like, I tried not to bring too much stuff over just because I didn't want to have to rely on like brands that I couldn't get here. I wanted to try and find products that I liked while living here, so I'm not, you know, I don't have to go and buy overseas, or I don't have to get my friends or family to like send me stuff every single time I run out. And a lot of the times there's like equivalent products, so it's not such a big deal. Just be a bit flexible with it and you should be fine. So yeah, I don't know, that's kind of my main points, I guess. Yeah, I hope that helped, guys. I guess if there's anything specific and you're looking to move it to Japan and you're not quite sure, please don't hesitate. Let me ask any questions in the comments below. Send me a private message if you'd prefer, on YouTube, or even contact me through through Twitter even. Yeah, contact me through Twitter or anything like that, and yeah, I'm always happy to help, because I know it can be a really stressful time, and it usually really doesn't have to be. So yeah, I hope that helped, guys. Thank you so much for the question. It was a really great one, and yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit more information. So I guess as always, don't forget to like this if you liked it. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and yeah, definitely leave a comment. I can't speak today, guys, sorry. Yeah, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. If you're living in Japan, let me know. You have to buy larger size clothing, I can't speak. Yeah, let me know where you guys go. I'm really curious. I always like some good tips. But yeah, I don't know, what's your experiences been? What have you found? So yeah, I guess until next time, I hope you guys have a great one, and I will talk to you very soon. So bye.